not two-faced. God took those people out your lives because they are garbage. They are the trash. They are the motherfucking trash. Sorry, God, I'm trying to stop swearing. They are trash. A friend does not do that. I don't give a damn how mad at you are. First of all, it's not that serious. And second of all, it's not like she slept with somebody. This could have been a conversation that you could have sat down with me and talked to me about. You yelling at me? You're already saying you're taking Rose's side and I'm closer to you than Rose, bro. Like, yo, that's not your friend. You are going to excel. Let that trash stay with that trash. Hi guys, guess who's bizarre? Me. Hi guys, welcome. You still remember me? Please don't forgetting. I'm so sorry, my computer was broken. Hi guys, welcome to Tasha Reacts. Welcome to Tasha Reacts. I hope it's all well doing good. I hope it's all well doing good in the hood. Hi, my name is Tasha. I do have another channel called Tasha Society where I do hair, beauty, mostly hair over there. And I do have another channel called Tasha Jean where I do story times. Check me out. Believe me, I promise you. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. Alright, don't worry about it. Alright. Put my disclaimer out there. This is a reaction channel, so I do talk. Sometimes I talk too much. Sometimes I vent. Sometimes I rant. Sometimes I just get a little bit off topic. If you're a person go, damn girl, I don't have time for the talking, I do leave the person's information down in the description bar below. TikTok handle towards the end of the video. Baby, I want to say thank you. We're moving on up to the east side. You know, on the east side, don't worry about it. We're moving on up. I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, checked me out, still here. Thank you, baby. I promise. I got you. I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm gonna be about it. Okay, we can do it. All right. So let's get started.
So I recently fell out with my maid of honor, and not to be dramatic, but this is one of the worst things I've ever been through. I don't know if I've ever experienced so much.
No, it's not. You're not dramatic, baby. First of all, this is your wedding day. It's okay for you to be a bridezilla because I know when I get married, I feel bad for my crew. Because I'm going to be a bride motherfucking zilla. I'm going to be a zilla bride. A bride of the zilla. Baby. I waited all this time, baby. What? Oh. No. Maybe I should get married at City Hall because I ain't going to have no friends. Oh, okay.
For a friendship breakup. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm really anxious, and I know that I will, but right now it feels like I'm never gonna get over this. Not necessarily because of the magnitude of what happened, but because of the many layers involved that feel like they were completely out of my control. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't wrong because there are definitely some things that I could have done better, but ultimately what happened feels like
and that's growth for you to notice that you're not wrong. Because a lot of times when you're like, you and your friends argue, you sometimes always think you're the victim. You know what I'm saying? So that takes a lot of growth for you to see that you're wrong in certain aspects of the situation. Because a lot of people like me, I used to always think I was a victim all the time until I started getting older. Like, oh, Tasha, you could have did this differently. Tasha, you could have reached out. Tasha, you didn't have to block them. Why you block them? Block them. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it does take, like, that shows that growth. And sometimes that person not being your friend is it's probably just their season's over. And sometimes us as people don't like to realize, like, the season is done. It's time for you to go. Let it go. Let it go. You gotta let it go. Alright, don't worry about it.
Happened feels like a perfect storm of jealousy, miscommunication, and racial bias. I want to talk about what happened from my perspective because I feel like there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and because it feels like a perfect example of how human motives and biases can show up in social events and interactions. So to begin, my best friend slash maid of honor, we'll call her Ella, had a destination wedding in a different state earlier this summer. Because it was in an expensive state, she didn't have a wedding party, but she did ask all of her friends to wear certain colors and to give speeches. But since she wasn't having a formal wedding party, some of her friends and I decided to throw her like a day bachelorette thing. The person who started the group chat and came up with the concept was one of her other best friends. We'll call her Rose. And there were 6 of us all together, including me, 4 of her other friends, and her cousin. During the bachelorette planning, me and Rose started texting a lot. We didn't know each other much before this, but we had followed each other on Instagram for a long time. I have been a fashion content creator on Instagram for the past 6 years, and Rose started wanting to post in like very similar styles. So I would always hear from Ella,
you should be careful with Rose. Let me explain something, and I'm gonna say this, right? So, I meet a lot of people that meet me, and people will try to connect certain people with me because of YouTube, right? a lot of people look up to me. I meet a lot of guys that try to use me for social media as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like no shade, because I noticed that, like, a lot of people will come to me and they're about, I would love to be with, work with Tasha. I'm very kind of a private person, if you don't for real know me. So a lot of people will come to me about social media, right? And I'll notice that when people do certain things, they start becoming me. No shade. And I'm not, they'll try to do certain things. Certain poses becomes like me. Certain things I'll do. My thumbnails will become theirs. And you got to be careful, because some people just come around to be a copy spirit, right? Some people envy you. Like, I had an old friend that I was cool with when I was with my baby daddy, right? And we both kind of started YouTube around the same time. She was doing vlogging and I did beauty, right? But then I started noticing her channel started slowly becoming beauty, right? And she's not that beauty type of girl, no shade, you know what I'm saying? So then she started, like, I think I did like a vlog or two one time. She said, oh, you're copying me. Like, girl, I don't even watch you. No shade. And the thing is, it's like, she'll post like once a month, once in a while, but she'll start asking my friend about me. Like, oh, I see Tasha posting. Oh, I see she's doing good on YouTube. I see this, I see that. But I noticed that these people were in my life because they were kind of hating on my gifts. No shade. Sometimes you got to be careful. Even your friend who's being the middleman, sometimes are people that, like, see your potential and try to take it from you. So, like, they'll start asking you for, like, oh Tasha, I had my middle friend, I call her Samantha. Samantha will be like, oh, Christina really likes blah 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 blah, or Christina said we should all hang out, and every time you hang out, it becomes about your YouTube channel. Or it becomes about asking you questions about your channel. She'll have a birthday party for her daughter, and we're talking about my channel. And in a way, it's like, oh, we should all do stuff together. No, you're not taking my gifts. But then when me and my ex broke up, and then I noticed, like, everybody stopped being my friend. I noticed, like, I kind of had to block everybody, because I was like, in the end of the day, like, some people are really just around because the fact that they know your potential and they hate on it, or they want to see where your mind is, so they pretend to be your friend. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta be careful, like, who's around you, because some people are like, the devil will have around you on purpose to steal your gifts or hate on you or whatever.
How much she, like, admired me and how much she loved my outfits and stuff. That was kind of the same energy she was giving me through text, and I was really receptive to it. She started texting me first really casually, and it felt like we could actually be friends. Bachelorette planning overall goes really well. We all have our own parts, we're all wearing the same color, we get all of these themed snacks. There was only one slightly annoying thing that happened with Ella's cousin, and me and Rose vented our frustrations and then quickly tried to come to some kind of solution. Overall, the bachelorette goes really well. Some weeks later, it's time for the wedding trip, and me and my fiance are going to be there for 4 days and 4 nights. So she had given us a lot of time to prepare. I had personally been experiencing a lot of financial setbacks. At the same time, I was feeling really lost in my career life. I had also been feeling a lot of systemic frustration, because it felt like no matter how educated or experienced my fiance and I were, it was very hard for us to move our board. So these things together became a source.
Because the people that surround you, sometimes you get stuck in a certain situation because of the people that is around you. And I bet you when God started eliminating, like, your friend, maybe that was a person that was causing the financial setback and you wasn't even noticing it. Sometimes a certain person is around your life because the fact that the devil has them there. Sometimes your family could be your financial setback. Sometimes your man could be your financial setback. Because sometimes you got to watch. Like, when somebody tells me they admire me, I kind of watch them, because now it's like, okay, you admire me, they become you. Some people see your gifts and they start asking you for questions, asking you for something. I don't mind helping, don't get me wrong. I'm a type of person, I will let you know. But then I start noticing that you're becoming me. I post certain things, you post the same thing. I have a friend on YouTube, okay, and we kind of the same. She know who she is. And she is really good, right? She's really good. She does try-on hauls, fashion hauls, stuff like that. And you'll notice people will come in her live and don't even, like, speak to her, but copy everything she does. And then I told her, sometimes you got to be careful about what you're saying to people, because people watch you and become you. Baby, the girl put a thumbnail out of one of her I think it was walkthrough hauls, and the girl did the same shit. She wasn't even doing the walkthrough. She didn't do that. She seen her do it, and it was working for her. So she did the same. Baby, she didn't even change it. Okay, she even did the same pose as her. Like, baby, sometimes you got to be careful because some people admire you and they become you, and they admire you because they want to suck what you got in you. Like your financial goals. Sometimes God is showing you like these people are not of me. These people are not of me. And some people, sometimes God don't let you progress. Like my baby daddy number 2, I always say, God, I feel like God didn't let me progress because he knew my baby daddy number 2 was a type of person that will suck shit from you. So I got to a certain level, gave him the handbook, and look at him. He's still stuck where he is. Maybe he's actually doing worse than he was when we were together. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the person. I was the voice. I was the person who was bringing life into him. And, oh, you should do this. You should do that. Because I always want, like, if I'm doing good, you're my man, baby, you got to do better. Period. And I don't give a damn. And I met you. You still working at the department store that I left you at. 5 years, 6. And now you're with a girl that's smoking the crack. None of y'all doing nothing with yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, your goal in life, God is gonna keep you in a certain situation because the fact that he noticed, like these people are, they're not worth where you're going. They're not worth where I'm going to bring you. I'm just saying. Listen.
Became a source of financial anxiety that carried into the trip for me. Despite how stressed I was in my own life, I was really adamant about not letting that affect how I showed up for Ella. We get there on a Thursday and the first night is fine. Meet some of their family members, we go swim at the hotel pool. And then the next day we go to the beach, meet some more family. That Friday night is the welcome party. This is when things start to take a turn. A few hours prior to the welcome party, Rose texts the group chat and informs us that Ella's husband's friends are going to take him out for a little bachelor night. We'll call Ella's husband Mateo. Rose only knows this because she and one of Mateo's friends had been interested in each other and had been texting, which is something that we all were aware of and had been kind of like a little inside joke between everyone. We'll call the guy that Rose is interested in Owen. So that night we go watch fireworks and then we get our Ubers to the place where the welcome party is. While we're waiting for the Uber, we're talking to one of Ella's parents' friends. We get to the welcome party, we all have a great time, and the boys were taking Mateo. My fiance had gotten invited, and then Rose had suggested that we still take out Ella. Earlier that day, I had asked Ella a good place to go to in the city that we're in, and we decided to take her there. We all go to the club, us girls, and some of Mateo's friends' girlfriends, and we're all having a really good time. The music is good, and we're all dancing, and then all of a sudden, one of Mateo's friends' girlfriends sings the N-word to one of the songs that are playing. Mind you, she is white, so I get a little bit annoyed at that, especially because me and my fiance are the only black couple there, which means I'm the only black woman.
They're doing it on purpose to test you. I feel like some people do certain things to see what they can do. Or some people try to get I'm telling you, the devil works in different ways. This is the happiest moment of your life. What? The happiest moment of your life. What? The devil gets you in different ways, baby. First of all, your friend should have checked Miss White Girl and be like, nah, come on. Come on. I ain't getting a little annoyed about, hey, yo, don't do that. That's what my boyfriend, he'll what? Excuse me, husband. Like, what? I feel like some people just try to test you. Because this is your happiest time, and they're trying to test you. It's the devil, I'm telling you.
The only black woman there. And it feels really disrespectful to me. But the last thing I'm gonna do is make a scene or have beef with someone during Ella's wedding weekend. So I don't say anything at all. In fact, I asked if anyone wanted to go to the bathroom with me. She decides to come with me. We get back up, we find chairs, we converse, and I make it my mission to just remain cordial. Especially because I know how it would look if I made it a problem. After that club, we meet back up with the boys at the club that they're at. So I get in, I'm sitting down next to my fiance, and Rose and Owen are sitting next to us. So the way we're sitting is Owen, Rose, me, and my fiance. We'd all been drinking, we were all having a good time, and then all of a sudden I feel something grabbing at the side of my stomach and my waist. It's happening pretty aggressively, and I quickly realized that it's Owen. My first thought is, oh, he's trying to touch Rose and he's accidentally touching me. So I'm like, oh, hey, Owen, I think you're touching the wrong girl. You're accidentally touching me, you're supposed to be touching Rose. And he goes, oh, sorry. And I still think that's a little weird because this is their first.
First of all, what is it? You don't know her. You don't know your woman. First of all, I would. Yo, listen. He knew it was you. Come on. Owen. Go on, Owen. Stop trying. You wanted that black, beautiful thing. That's why. Don't pretend. Okay? First of all, I'm just so happy I meet men that understands me. I'm not even gonna lie. I tell you, besides my baby daddies, dudes I'm dating, men I'm with, the guy I'm talking to now, it's like they know the respect. Like, I never had a guy disrespect me like that. Ever. Well, yeah, I have. I lied. My baby daddy number one, he had sex with my friend, but he didn't do it in front of me. But yeah, my ex, yeah, he did have sex with my friend too. Well, maybe they did disrespect me. But they didn't do it in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know your girl's body. Come on. You don't know. Come on. Come on, Owen. Come on, player. Come on. Just stop trying to pretend you wanted that body.
Night together. So I asked Rose, I'm like, hey, do you feel safe right now? And she says, yeah. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. That's their business. Then a few minutes later, I feel him doing it again. And then I just see the same thing. I'm like, hey, Owen, like, I think you're touching the wrong girl again. Like, hey. And then he just says sorry again. And I truly didn't think anything of it until the next morning. And it dawned on me that not only was that really uncomfortable for me, but it also felt like maybe it was purposeful.
First of all, Owen, I warned you once. The second time, my fist will be warning you. I said stop. What is it? I'm not going to go, hey, Owen. Owen, stop touching me. God damn it. I told you one time. Owen, don't touch me. First of all, your husband's, you said your fiance was there, right? She's a storytelling girl. Your fiance was there. So the audacity to disrespect her fiance, Owen, because you wanted a little bit of beautiful black chocolate. Like, I don't understand the boundaries. And she said she was the only black girl there. I'm just saying, her and her fiance. Owen, keep your hands to yourself, okay? Don't touch her. Like, the first time I don't think I would do it the first time either, but the change me was like, Owen, don't touch me. Why are you touching me, Owen? I don't give a damn whose weekend it is. I'm like, Owen, hey, you're touching me. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Stop. Don't do that. Why are you touching me? Maybe I would have said it in a way that's nice, that I would embarrass you, Owen. And the way that you're, Owen, you're laughing with him, so he probably thinks like, yeah, she want this. She want this white cookie. Baby, I told you stop touching me. And my man's there, baby, you ain't gonna disrespect my man. First of all, I would have went to my man like, baby, he's touching me. I would have had my man check you respectfully. Stop touching me. Don't touch me. First of all, I don't know, man.
I also felt like that felt pretty violating and maybe even a little bit manipulative, because I felt like that's kind of how predators work, right? Like, they do things in a way that feels plausibly deniable. Regardless of me feeling like this, I decide not to tell my fiance or to not tell anyone, because the last thing I need, again, is for anyone to make us.
No, what is it? Let me tell you something, okay? Hey. It's till death do you part. Baby, that would be the first person I told. Baby, switch sides with me. First of all, I would see if I was tripping. I'm like, baby, stand here. I wonder if you're going to be grabbing my man's side. Why are you touching me? Like, I feel like I would have told my man. Maybe I wouldn't tell him then, but I would have waited. Like, if he did it again, I would have told my boyfriend, like, hey, baby, I don't know why he keep touching me. And he do it, and then I would have my man alert, because I don't know. I'm very big, like in the Haitian culture, people always go, you talk too much, you tell people your business too much. I don't give a damn. I do, because I used to be that kid who used to protect my family. They don't protect me. They talk about me all the time. Oh, you don't see Tasha. Tasha is nothing. You don't see Tasha. You don't see Tasha. Oh, look at Tasha. Tasha have a baby. Oh, her baby father take this. Tasha. And they tell me to keep the secret, but they tell everybody my business. The pastor know, the church know, friends know, but I gotta keep the secret to protect my business. You're already telling them. I am that person who talks. I do. I talk a lot. I tell my man everything. I tell my friends everything. If you tell me a secret, I'll keep that. I'm very good with secrets. But I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like feeling away. I don't. Because I take a lot of things personal, and I'm an overthinker, like I tell y'all. So I go from 0 to 1,000 real quick. I'm just saying.
Scene during Ella's wedding weekend. I'm still kind of bothered by like the power dynamics of it all. I'm kind of feeling like he only did that because he knew I wouldn't be able to say anything, but I decided to try to let it go. I also felt like it could be a misunderstanding, and I had no real way of knowing what his intentions were. That same morning, my sister calls me and she's screaming, crying, and she tells me that her boyfriend of many years has just passed away in a motorcycle accident. As I'm sure you can imagine, this was extremely distressing, the tragedy itself, and also witnessing my sister's excruciating pain. So this I do tell Ella because we were having a beach day and I just wanted to let her know why I would be a little bit late. After I console my sister for a while, we decide to go to the beach. At one moment, I'm talking to Gigi and another one of Ella's friends, we'll call her Holly. They're with their boyfriends, they're trying to decide on dinner plans, and they do invite us. I politely decline only because it had been such a long day, and I also didn't want to be like an imposition. Like, I thought they were just being nice. While they're talking about getting ready, they talk a little bit about their hair. They both have curly hair, and since I was having a bit of a financial crisis, I decided to wear my natural hair for the first time. In fact, I had spent the last 3 weeks trying to perfect my hair and learn how to style it, so I get really excited about some of the things that they're saying. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm learning how to do my hair and I know how to do that too. From across the way, the lady that we were talking to the night before, mind you, she is white, and she goes, "Aw, look at all the curly girls comparing notes." Immediately, this feels a little bit weird, only because, like I said, me and my fiance are like the only full black couple there, and it feels a little bit like confirmation that I'm hyper visible. So I just like fake laugh along and I look away, especially because I had already been through so much in the last 24 hours. We go back to the hotel and me and my fiance do decide that it'll be fun to actually hang out with Gigi and Holly and their boyfriends. And hanging out with them had genuinely been the best time me and my fiance had while we were there. It felt like conversation had gone really well. We were really vibing. But then what had happened that morning with my sister's boyfriend, and that I might not be as involved as I normally would be, and they seem super understanding of that. That night I get in and it's pretty late. I still have to do my hair and I still have to make some edits to Ella's speech, and we also had to be at Ella's suite in the morning. I quickly wash my hair and I decide to start editing my speech. I had seen Gigi and Holly's and theirs seemed a little bit shorter than mine, so I figure I should shorten it. I had been working on it for the past week. I decided to shorten particularly the beginning when I met her. Since English majors at the time usually wore black and really brooding, I always talked about how she was so different. She'd come in, she was a sorority girl, she was blonde, she was really pretty, and I really wanted to capture that in the speech. So I asked ChatGPT for a suggestion. The suggestion feels pretty perfect. Go with that and I just go to sleep. Now I know that was probably the worst things I could have ever done. This is getting really long. Next video, I'm going to talk about the rest of the trip, aftermath, as in the fallout, then my analysis of it. I recently fell out with my maid of honor, and not to be dramatic, but this is quite literally one of the worst things I've ever been through. In my last video, I left off at the part where I was changing my speech. My intention was to show my impression when I met her. For the sake of time, I decided to use a suggestion for ChatGPT that relied on shorthand archetypes in order to paint a picture. Next day, all of Ella's friends go to her suite and get ready with her. We all rode in the limo with her to the venue. Prior to the ceremony, we hung out with her in her dressing room and helped her put on her veil. This is when I noticed something about Rose. Every situation with Ella, Rose wanted to be the one to sit next to her, to take pictures with her, and
she envied you. Rose is the reason why y'all not friends. You don't even have to tell me the rest of the story. I learned, like, okay, like me, I'm a type of person, people always want to be really clicky with me, okay? I don't know, maybe because I just have that personality. I mean, I'm that type of person, like, I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of people that gravitate to me. You know, I have a lot of people, like, even when I'm the person that I'm with now, I tell him all the time, like, I'm very kind of antisocial. And every time he's on the phone with me, somebody's coming up to me, hey Tasha, hey Tasha, hey Tasha. But I said, I'm antisocial to an extent. Like, I'm very, like, an outspoken, cool person. But when I get home, nobody comes home with me. You get what I mean? So I talk on the phone. I'll still do voice chats, voice notes, but sometimes I need that moment to be by myself, right? I'm very antisocial. My phone never barely rings. My phone rings now because I'm with somebody. That's the most. My sister barely called now because she in love. So it's like before, you know, I don't even really have like anybody. My phone never really rings ever, right? I'll talk to my, you know, my YouTube friends here and there, and it's more of a check-in, check-out, and everybody has, you know, everybody has their own friends, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, YouTube friends, some people are cool. Like, I have my group that I'm cool with, but everybody has their friends outside, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not a person who has a lot of friends. You know, one of my oldest friends, we became friends again, and it's still kind of like, you know, strange because everybody is kind of like doing their own thing. I learned, like, I'm very observant, and I will notice that people will be like, they'll fight for my attention, if that sounds right. Like, I have friends that's cool with me, but then they'll fight for my attention, or I always become the third wheel. Like, I'm the third wheel friend, right? Because I'm a type of person who kind of like, at all my friends, I'm always the third wheel. Even the friends that I have, I'm cool with my coworkers, I'm the third wheel friend, right? And it's fine because I learned that about me, because my personality is a lot. So I'm a type of person who, even if I'm part of the clique, I'm still not. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta just kind of notice that some people, because of the fact they see you're so cool, they want to be that friend, that number one friend. And I never fight for friends. I don't give a damn how cool I am with you. If you start acting funny, I act funnier. Okay? I don't got time to be fighting for girls. Okay? I used to have, because a lot of people always go, Tasha's so crazy. And I noticed, even like my old friend I was telling you, even about my old friend I was telling you about with my baby daddy that I was friends with for years. Like, me and her became so close that the friend that's my baby daddy's cousin will fight for that friendship. So I noticed, like, baby, you can't be me. You know what I'm saying? You can't be me. And now even that girl, that I feel like certain friends, when you're friends with me, you grow with me. You get what I mean? And a lot of people, I would say, like, they get jealous when people are close to me. I feel like they know what my gift is. Like, I'm very accessible. I'm a type of person who will try for you and grow with you. And when I'm friends, I'm kind of very attachy sometimes too, because I really want good for people. That's how I am. It's bad, right? Because that's how my baby daddy got a house with his girlfriend that's living there now. But I am a type of person, I always say that, like, even if he does, like, everybody always go, oh, I hope he lose the house. I hope he lose. I said, nah, I wouldn't hope he lose the house. You know what I'm saying? Because he worked hard for it, even though he took my money to get the house, but he still maintained it. You get what I mean? I would never wish that he lost the house, but the fact that I am that foundation of the house, I do that. Even with one of my exes right now, he's doing well, doing speaking engagement, because I was that motivation who helped him. You get what I'm saying? I am a type of person who always gives you that line. Even the dude I'm talking to, I always be like, so baby, what you want to do? What's your foundation in life? Like, he's like, I'm like that with every guy. I'm a type of person, because I know everybody has potential, and I'm not going to be with no weak man. And if you feel weak, I'm going to upgrade you. So I feel like a lot of women know that you're close with that friend, and they want to take that space. And sometimes what sucks about that is that you are that friend that friend needs. And that friend, whoever that rose girl who's coming in her life, could be her worst nightmare. That could be, she don't even know that if she lost you, you could have been the potential of generational wealth for her. It's just some people, like, I notice, like, a lot of people, like, when I'm really close with certain friends, they diss them. And when I'm cool with somebody and they keep talking shit about the other friend, I'm like, oh yeah, they don't really care. Only, you know, sometimes I'll talk, like, if I have a friend and we're three of us and I'm concerned, I'll talk to someone and be like, hey, I'm very concerned, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't want to say this, I don't want to say that. But I'm not dissing you. I'm not dissing you. I'll talk about it. Like, oh, if I see something about a relationship and I'm not really, like, you know, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to talk. I don't want to say nothing. You know, like, that's how I am because I'm talking to that friend. If that friend decides to tell, they decide to tell. But, and then if they come to me, I'm like, yeah, I said it because this is what I'm concerned about. But it's not my business to tell you because you're not going to listen to me, you know? So sometimes, like, friends are envy of your access. Anyways, like they might see, they know your potential, and that's the reason why they stopped trying to talk to you, because they know that that person probably sees so highly of you. Baby, let me try to hurry up. This thing keep dying on.
Pictures with her and to put her veil on. It made me feel like she was a little bit possessive and competitive. This was something that I'd felt before, but since I know what it's like to feel a little bit jealous of your friend's relationships with her other friends, and because I felt like I knew my place in Ella's life, I brushed it off as very normal and very human. The wedding was beautiful, but also so hot that I was sweating through my dress. The bottom of my dress had gotten kind of dirty in the grass. We take pictures and we go up and we enjoy the reception. When it came to my speech, I was very nervous, but I also felt really proud of my speech. It felt like a snapshot into the ways that we've grown with each other in our friendship. I give this speech and it feels like a hit. Everyone is laughing, and even afterward, I had a couple people tell me they really liked it and that it was the best one. So I was feeling really good about it. At one point, I noticed that somebody else was wearing a white dress, so I covertly told Rose and I texted her about it. All details that are important for understanding the fallout. Wedding's over, we go back to the hotel, and since it's still early in the day, everyone decides to go to the beach. While we're at the beach, I noticed that Owen is there, and it makes me like really tense and uncomfortable. So
not me getting mad at Owen, like, stupid boy. Mr. Touchy-feely.
Uncomfortable that I kind of feel uncomfortable with my fiance touching me. That's when I realized that it wasn't something that I was just going to be able to let go, and that the discomfort was manifesting in my body. We don't suspect that there will be anything else for the night. We get some food, we go to the hotel, and we decide to just stay in and watch the movie. Ella and everyone did end up going out that night, but my fiance and I were so exhausted that we just decided not to go. Next morning, it's time to check out, and I wake up really early. I'm still really bothered by the sexual harassment thing, so I finally tell my fiance and I tell my mom. They suggest that I tell Ella. So I call Ella that morning. I let her know what happened. She's like, I can't believe you've been holding this in. Me and Mateo will talk to him. Instantly, I feel relieved. However, as we're going down the elevator to check out, we see Owen and Rose in the elevator. Obviously, this is very awkward, so I actually just decide to confront him myself. In front of my fiance and Rose, I tell him what he did and that it made me uncomfortable, and he like immediately apologizes with no hesitation. This feels like a relief for me because like at least he said sorry. Felt like
I wouldn't. I get it. I feel like you should have did it in a different way, because now Rose is there and Rose is fucking with him. I think you should have spoke to him like that day. Like, hey, I kind of, you know, like, I don't know what's happening if you're drunk. That moment. Because now it seemed like you're trying to sabotage what her and Rose have, and Rose is going to think you're lying. Like, yeah, she just want my man. She want Owen. You should have came up to her then when it happened. I feel like now this is what's gonna happen. Now you're Rose's enemy. First of all, Rose don't know you like that, so Rose don't really know what type of person you are. So Rose is just gonna think you're lying, because now that's her man, Owen, Mr. Owen. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ella and Mateo would have to worry about. Me and my fiance hang out for the rest of the day. Hang out with Gigi, Holly, and their boyfriends a little bit more. Holly does invite us to get sushi with them. After we left, I ended up politely declining because my fiance doesn't really like sushi. Take a red eye, we get home, and I am exhausted. And I am just so happy to be home. I look at my phone and I realize that Holly had sent me a really sweet goodbye message. And I say sorry for the delay and text her something really sweet back. I must have done nothing for like a week straight. After we leave, me and Ella are texting because she's now on her honeymoon, giving her well wishes, telling her thank you for inviting us. She says thank you so much for coming and for the speech, and she asked me how my sister is doing. During the time she's on her honeymoon, I'm mostly resting and consoling my sister. Right about the time she came home, I got invited to a brand event and invited her to come with me. So we hang out almost immediately after she gets home. We have a good time, we debrief a little bit, she gets me a gift, and then we start talking about my wedding since she's my maid of honor. Over the next few weeks, we start sending ideas and stuff for my wedding, and everything feels fine. Over the last couple years, the way that me and Ella usually text is that we send a bunch of long paragraphs at a time. And we both usually do that about once a week. So over the next couple months, we still continue to do that. However, at some point, I can't explain it, but it felt like the energy of her text messages were different. Like at first we'd started planning my bachelorette, and then suddenly she wasn't talking about it as much. She wasn't really asking me anything about the wedding. She was still texting like normal. What made me feel like something was wrong is that I had posted my engagement photos, and then the next day she posted her wedding photos, but she hadn't really interacted with my engagement photos. And that felt kind of weird because anytime Ella gets on social media, which is kind of rare, she goes on to my page and she always likes and comments on all of my stuff. Something I also noticed was that Rose wasn't interacting with me as much as well. Prior to the wedding, she was always liking my stuff.
I hate friends like that. I was one. I ain't gonna lie. Oh God, these batteries, yo. I was one of those friends. Like, I used to take a lot of things personal. So sometimes it's just like, it sucks because I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I just wish like they both just came to you woman to woman. You know what I mean? And just had a real conversation with you instead of just like acting funny. First of all, Rose is an outsider. So by your maid of honor, like not even coming to you as a friend and you're believing Rose. But she probably just wasn't a friend in the beginning. I'm just saying.
My stuff, we were always commenting on each other's stuff, liking each other's stories. But I felt weird because we hadn't really talked in the last 2 months. Especially because during bachelorette planning and before the wedding, we were actually sharing aspects of our lives. And I just kind of chalked that up to maybe I'm not as cool or as admirable as she thought I was, and that's okay. During my last text exchange with Ella, I'm just like, hey, like we should FaceTime soon because we hadn't really talked about like wedding stuff. And a couple days later, she texts me and she says just plainly like, hey, do you have time for a conversation today? I call her immediately and this is where things go downhill. About a month ago, I fell out with my maid of honor, and not to be dramatic, but this feels like one of the worst things I've ever been through. And I think it's because it feels like there's no clear-cut right or wrong. Just a bunch of miscommunications, mistakes, and perhaps some bias. Before I continue with the story, there are a couple things that I want to clear up. The first is the idea that the wedding was predominantly white. My former best friend is a white-passing woman, but not fully white, and her husband is a man of color. The wedding was mostly a mix of Hispanic, white, Asian, and a couple of Afro-Latino. My best friend's friend group is majority women of color, with one girl, Holly, being half white and white passing, and her husband's friend group was mostly white with a few people of color. So the group that we hung out with, we were naturally the only black couple there. And because this was her wedding, I had no control over that. The reason why it took me so long to do part 3, because as I started to record the video, I got stuck and started to spiral. It's been really hard for me to come to terms with the role that I played in this fallout. And retelling it has clarified some places where I feel like I should take more responsibility. While I know that I acted with good intention, know that it doesn't erase impact. I recognize that some of the things that I said were unintentionally hurtful. With that being said, I left off where Ella texted and asked me to have a conversation. As soon as she texted, I immediately called her. Because I felt like I'd acted as a good friend by giving her my love and support for her wedding, I couldn't imagine that anything I'd done was hurtful. The first thing she said was that there were some things that I had done and said at her wedding that were hurtful to her and other people around her. I'm gonna tell you the things I was accused of and the context in which it happened. Mind you, this was 2.5 months after the wedding. First thing had to do with her cousin. We'll call her Selena. She goes, did you tell Rose that you guys should have been meaner to Selena? And immediately I have no idea what she's talking about. So I say, huh? And she goes, did you tell Rose that we should have been meaner to Selena about the cake thing? And I'm just like, no, I don't think so. And she goes, Rose said that you said we should have been meaner to Selena and that we should just send her the $20 so that we don't have to deal with her. And immediately I feel like she's lying or misrepresenting what I said. So thinking out loud, I'm like, I knew it. I knew Rose was possessive. And so she's just basically screaming at me like, this is what Rose said. Either she's lying or you're lying. So because the bachelorette had been 3.5 months ago at this point, I didn't remember anything that I said. So I start frantically looking, trying to find these messages from 3 months ago, and I find a portion of them and I read them to her. So the background context on the cake is that during the bachelorette, we had all agreed on getting one of those $25 heart cakes from either Walmart or Albertsons. The idea was that we were going to get it made in her favorite color.
And first of all, why are you being about and yelling at you? Hey, yo. Bitch, I would have hung up on her. I don't give a fuck. Friend or not. First of all, you ain't gonna be yelling at me for about no what I said. You didn't even get my side. Oh. First of all, I'm like, yo, who you raising your voice at? Miss Girl. I don't give a damn. You ain't gonna speak to me like that. Second of all, you asked me a question, so let me respond. Because I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And put motherfucking Rose on the phone. If Rose said it, put the Rose on the motherfucking phone. So Rose can tell you what I said. Because, baby, me? You ain't gonna be yelling at me. And first of all, you ain't gonna be mad at me over a goddamn cake. I said, if I said it, so what? What is it? I don't give a damn. I said it. And Rose, I don't like Rose. Yo, you want me to fight Rose? You want me? Nah? Oh. Okay.
Add some DIY decorations before the bachelorette. Selena decides to contact a bakery and asks us to send her some inspo. She gets a quote for $141, which is about $20 for each of us, and asks us if we're okay with it. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm very much someone that goes with the flow. Even if I have an opinion, I'll usually just go along with what everyone else says. If everyone wanted to pay the $20, I would have scraped up the $20. However, at this point, we're already paying for our outfits, the activity, the lunch, as well as themed custom snacks. She says very kindly in the chat if it would be okay if we just stuck with the $25 DIY thing, since costs were getting really expensive and we were going to this wedding in a few weeks. In her message back, she said that it was fine and that she would cover it. And then within the same message, she says something that at the time she may not have meant but rubbed me the wrong way. And it's that she didn't realize that $20 would be a big deal, but she understands everyone has their own things going on. It just felt a little dismissive. That same day, everyone just kind of mimics Gigi's sentiment. They're like, thank you so much for taking the time to look into this, but I agree, I do think that things are getting a little bit expensive. Rose said something particularly really kind. And the next morning, Selena says that she already got it because she hadn't heard from anyone and that she'll cover it. Next morning, we text about it, and these are the messages that I show Ella. This is when I'm like, also, I hope that we didn't hurt Selena's feelings. She's like, me either. And then that's when I bring up that I don't like her tone. I say she was basically saying it's just $20 in my opinion, and then she indicates here that she also noticed that and that she felt like she didn't give people enough time.
Oh, and Rose, you didn't say what you said, ho. Yo, you want me to fight Rose? Yo. Oh, Tasha, nah, you change. Oh, I change. Yeah. Because if I want to sit next to Moses, oh, I can't fight. Oh. Because I'm trying to get close to God. Okay.
Give people enough time to respond. At some point, Rose calls me while I'm at coffee with a friend, and we start just making some self-deprecating jokes about how much $20 actually is in this economy. It's like, I just bought this $8 matcha, like that's my budget for the week. And she like makes a joke too. And at some point, I told her how kind her message was. This must have been when I said we should have been meaner. And though I don't remember saying that, I feel like I could have only said that in 2 instances, both of which were joking. So I might have said we should have been meaner, as in, you are so nice, Rose. Kind of like, you could be kind without sacrificing your needs. In that case, being mean would not have actually meant being mean to Selena. In the same way, I might have been like, we should have been meaner, almost as if we would ever have been mean.
But Rose, you were in the conversation. That's what I'm not understanding. It's not like, Rose, why you don't say what you said? And Maid of Honor's sister, that girl right there, I don't like her either. Yo, y'all don't like your friends. Yo, you need new friends. I don't like them. I believe you 100%. You don't even gotta tell me this story. These are bad friends. They're horrible. First of all, how you getting mad at me? How you getting mad at me for what like what?
To Selena. And then the last interpretation was we were talking about just sending the $20 so all of the cake costs wouldn't just be on her. So the joke there would have been like, if we had been meaner, we wouldn't have had to pay the $20. Since it had been 3.5 months, I couldn't recall the exact context in which I'd said that. That was something I only recalled after she confronted me. During this time, I am only reading Ella the messages as I see them. After we get off the phone, you see I respond here with a joke saying, I'm rereading the messages like, what do you mean you didn't hear from anyone when someone responded literally an hour later? Don't piss me off. And that's when she playfully responds, I know, I was literally writing in my bed before I had the energy to text back. And then I go, what do we do now? Do we all just pitch in the $20? Giving a green light when no one answered yet is crazy. Here, I remember feeling really conflicted because she'd went ahead and bought the cake herself, but it also didn't feel right to put the entire cake cost on her, especially when it was $150 and we were tripping over $20. I remember feeling like, how would Ella feel if she knew that we made her cousin buy the cake without our help? I say, I'm screaming, no one responded. That's when Rose says, LOL, I think because she just did it, as in like she did it without anyone's permission. That's when she goes, I didn't want to pay the $20, but should we just do it? And that's when I say, I think we should for Ella, and so there's no weirdness since we were all going out of town together. At this point in my thought process, I remember feeling like though Selena said she was okay with buying the cake, she might feel some type of...
First of all, her cake's only $125. Y'all couldn't pitch in. Y'all wrong for that. Both you and Rose. But y'all, like, I don't get it. This is your friend. You can't give $20. Because, baby, my wedding, that's why I ain't going to have no friends in my wedding. It's going to be people that know who Tasha is. Because, first of all, y'all, I don't want no cheap people. I don't give a damn. That's why my wedding's not going to have maid of honors and all that. Except my sister. I ain't even going to have family in it. Because nobody going to cheat me. Nah. Y'all all going to be guests. Everybody going to be a guest. Everybody. Probably have my children. That's the most. And maybe if my spouse has somebody, we'll have them. but I'm not having a lot of people in my wedding because I don't want to deal with this shit. $20, both you and Rose is wrong. 100%. But Rose tried to be smart with it because her cousin probably brought it to her like, yeah, I bought the cake and your friends didn't do shit. And then, now all of a sudden, you guys want to play it off like, oh, Rose probably tried to put it all on you. I'm just saying.
Some type of way if she felt like Ella's friends made her pay for it herself. This is when she says, okay, I agree as well. And because it's been 3 months and it looks like we start talking about something else, this is where I think we end. As you can see here, we continue speaking. I say, you are so kind, Rose. Then she says, no, you are, but you are so right. I don't want any weirdness. And this is where the deal with her response comes in. I say, yes, it's annoying, but everyone makes mistakes and it's a small price to pay to avoid any tension. LOL, we don't have to deal with her after the wedding, so no need to make it a thing. At that point, I'm just basically saying this is just not that big of a deal. You should pay it if it means we're preserving the vibes of Ella's wedding. This is not something for her to have a bad impression of us over.
But y'all were talking shit about her cousin though. Where does energy come from? I don't know. Did she say something else to y'all that made y'all not vibe with Selena? I need more context clues. Because y'all are talking shit about Selena because y'all wrong. $20. And Selena had to buy the cake. And y'all talking shit, both of y'all, about her cousin, which is her family, that bought the cake. And all y'all motherfuckers did was read a goddamn speech. I'm just saying. So y'all kind of wrong for that. I'm just saying.
Over, and we should just let it go. It's clear that Rose knew what I meant because she says, yes, I agree. The next thing she talks about is her speech, which catches me off guard because she told me that she loved it. She says she feels like some of the things I said in my speech were backhanded, stereotypical, and misogynistic. I immediately apologize and let her know that my intention was never to insult her, but to paint a picture in a short amount of time. I'm just going to read you what I said and then tell you my thought process. I met Ella in an English class in X year. You see, she didn't look like your typical English major, with her blondish hair pulled into a ponytail, a sorority t-shirt on, and a half-empty drink from X restaurant. She was giving more cheerleader than tortured poet, and I remember thinking, this girl looks like she doesn't have a care in the world. So as I mentioned in a previous video, my intent here was to show the contrast between Ella and the typical English major. And as I mentioned earlier, the joke here was supposed to be on an exaggerated version of an English major, meaning brooding, tortured, and dramatic. That's why when ChatGPT recommended tortured poet, it felt pretty perfect. The cheerleader felt like a perfect contrast to that. The idea here was that she was really pretty and trendy. And then when I say, I remember thinking this girl doesn't have a care in the world, that is something I always told Ella when I was telling her the story of how I met her. And that just meant that she looked like she was just living her life and having a good time. And then I say, then a few classes in, she gave the most thoughtful, articulate answer to a question, and I thought, oh, she's smart too. And that was supposed to be self-deprecating to me in a humorous way to compliment her. Then I talk a little bit more about...
No. I'm sorry. Storytelling girl. You know, if you don't watch my channel, I'm 100% real. You made it seem like she didn't look like... She's beautiful, but when I seen her, she didn't look like an English major. So you make it seem like she's stupid. And then when she got up and said the most, yo, there's this fly that just keep flying around. Then when you see here, you said that she was an English major and she was smart. She didn't look like an English major, but then when she read whatever, she's smart too. Like, baby, you made it seem like she looked dumb. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
How we met and how we started talking. And then in order to juxtapose the beginning, I say, in getting to know her better, what I learned was that I was right about there being more to her than meets the eye, and that the half-empty blank cups she'd bring into class every single day were a tip-off to how much she loves. But I was wrong about her not having a care in the world. Instead, I learned that Ella cares deeply about everything and everyone who has the pleasure of experiencing her love and friendship. Throughout the rest of the speech, I talk about me and her's friendship and the ways that me and my fiance witnessed her and Mateo's love story. And after all that, I say, so I could end this by saying, Mateo, if you hurt her, I'll come for you, but it brings me so much joy to know that there's no way that would ever happen. Ella says she doesn't like this either, meaning that she didn't like the hypothetical threat, which I'd personally gotten from a maid of honor speech, and that she wanted to feel like I had both of their backs, like as a unit.
No. Alright, maid of honor. First of all, what she need to have your husband's back for? Listen here, girls. I don't want nobody having my husband's back. I want you to have my back. First of all, she don't even know Mateo for real. She probably just trying to be nice. Mateo could be an asshole, and she probably know Mateo's an asshole, but she just pretending for you. No. You want her to... You just making up shit, maid of honor, girl. At this point, you just making up shit. You're trying to find reasons, and Rose probably gave you reasons to be mad. She's like, yeah, I'm mad about that too. I'ma call her. I'm just saying. You're just finding reasons to be mad. The beginning of the speech was kind of, I ain't gonna lie. But towards the end, she didn't say anything. First of all, everybody says that. Like, if you hurt my friend, I'll come after you. Everybody says that. So don't try to pretend now. Like, oh, shut up. Shut up. Like, oh, I hate sensitive people. Hold on.
Despite having given well wishes to their life together. My speech was never meant to insult her, but instead be a testament to her depth and complexity. The implication was that she had elements of both a cheerleader and a tortured poet, that she was pretty and smart, and subverts dominant stereotypes. She felt like I was trying to allude to her whiteness because of the ways I'm always critiquing whiteness, but I had made a conscious decision to not do that. Another aspect of that is that earlier in the speech, I was alluding to both of us being not typical English majors, but decided to focus it on her. As you can tell, I really regret shortening it that night, especially because what I had been through had likely clouded my judgment, and I regret that what was meant to be loving and personal didn't come out as intended. There are 3 more things that she accused me of, so I'm going to talk about that in the next part, as well as how we ended up not being friends anymore. I recently fell out with my maid of honor, and not to be dramatic, but this was like one of the worst things I've ever been through. Not necessarily just because of what happened, but because of what it meant to me. I can't sleep, I can't eat, and I'm so anxious. I've been processing so many emotions from anger to guilt. The next thing she was upset with me about was a comment I made at her reception. I texted Rose about someone wearing white to the wedding. I said there's always that one person that wears a white dress, lol. If you recall, during the trip, I said one of my favorite things was hanging out with Holly and Gigi and their boyfriends. Holly and Gigi are Ella's friends from childhood. Holly apparently told Ella that I made her feel excluded. Really contradictory to the text we'd exchanged when I left. I genuinely really liked Holly and would never intentionally exclude her, but as you guys know, I'd been through a lot on the day that we'd hung out, which is something, like I said, I had shared with them during dinner. Last but not least, the white lady that made the curly hair comment told Ella that I was so nice and smiley to her, and then suddenly it felt like I hated her. I do want to clear up some misconceptions about the white hair lady. The girl that said the N-word to a song and the white lady that made the curly hair comment are not the same person. I never really saw the N-word girl again, and the white lady had been someone I talked to the night of the welcome party. My fiance were chatting with her while waiting for the Uber. I had initially forgotten about the curly hair comment, because truly I wasn't that offended by it and tried to laugh it off. The reason why it even bothered me that day is because I was hyper vigilant. The night before, I experienced a microaggression and what felt like sexual harassment, and then the next morning, my sister's boyfriend dies in a tragic accident. While I tried my best to have fun and be chill, I was not feeling my best emotionally and felt pretty on edge. I'm sure that leaked into some of my interactions. While we're on the phone, I feel like I understand some of them, but others feel a little bit nitpicky and contradictory, so I opt for us to get off the phone and take some space. Immediately, I'm flooded with emotions and I start crying. I call my mom, I call my fiance, and I feel both guilty and blindsided. I'm not sure if this comes through, but the phone call was extremely emotional. It's not really a conversation, it's just her accusing me of these things. She's screaming, "You stereotype me in front of my family on my wedding day."
So why didn't she confront you that day? Probably like, maybe because she went through her honeymoon. I think that's Rose. I really do. I feel it was Rose, or somebody must have said something. But yeah, at the beginning of the speech, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, but she's white. Sometimes white people don't understand our humor. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they think like we're trying to be mean, but we're not, you know? Just like vice versa. You know, I don't know. Because sometimes we're a little bit more tough skinned, you know, and they're a little bit more sensitive sometimes when it comes to certain things. So certain things you got to kind of understand and explain, like, no, that's not what I meant. But for her to be yelling at you, that wasn't your friend. Because she didn't even hear you. Like, you could have came to me in person and like, hey, I felt this, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like she should have came to you in person.
I hurt the people that she loved. I'm just trying to understand what happened because I had no idea anyone felt this way. Not only did she wait for 2.5 months before telling me this, everyone had told me otherwise. She told me that she loved the speech. We'd hung out after her honeymoon. She got me a gift. She started helping me plan my wedding. Rose showed no indication that she was offended by anything that I said. In fact, she sent me a really sweet message about how much she enjoyed planning with me. Holly had sent me that really nice text, and it all just felt kind of two-faced to me. It felt like Ella should know me.
They are two-faced. God took those people out your lives because they are garbage. They are the trash. They are the motherfucking trash. Sorry, God, I'm trying to stop swearing. They are trash. A friend does not do that. I don't give a damn how mad at you are. First of all, it's not that serious. And second of all, it's not like she slept with somebody. This could have been a conversation that you could have sat down with me and talked to me about. You yelling at me? You're already saying you're taking Rose's side, and I'm closer to you than Rose, bro. Like, yo, that's not your friend. You are going to excel. Let that trash stay with that trash, because I bet you Rose is going to do her wrong, and she's going to be like, dang, I fucked up. You're already taking people's side. You don't even know these hoes for real. Like, I'm just saying. I'm all acting like I know them. Don't worry about it.
We'd been friends for 7 years and had never had a fight. After feeling like I was ganged up on, I started doing some reflection and talking to my friends. I felt really anxious to send her a message and clear it up to make this go away. Initially, I was really defensive, but then I just started feeling really guilty and sorry. Again, I just stayed in bed, ordered food, and overanalyzed the situation. I'd been crying on and off all weekend. And while everyone around me told me to defend myself, I wanted to lead with her feelings and how she felt first, so I just apologized for everything. It came to the speech, I tell her that wasn't...
You should never apologize. Don't ever let a person have that much power, because first of all, you're not wrong. You're wrong probably cut about the speech a little bit, though, I ain't gonna lie. But I feel like the way she came at you is wrong. Nah, you ain't wrong. Don't ever let a person make you feel less than. Don't ever. That's not a friend, shorty. Your real friend would have came up to me and like, girl, what's up with that speech? Girl, I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You yelling at me over, you said that the $20, did you say that or not? First of all, shorty, you ain't gonna yell at me. You didn't even hear my side. You're taking Rose's side, and then Rose is kissing up. You're just so sweet. I was enjoying it, because Rose hates on you. Rose knows what she's doing, baby. Even if you didn't do nothing, Rose will find a reason to hate. Rose is a garbage and she's a trash. F Rose. We don't F with Rose over here. F Rose. Baby, what is it? Okay.
My intention, but I understand how it came off that way and how sorry I am. I owned up to being careless and not thinking about my words when it came to her cousin. I apologized for commenting on the white dress. I empathized about what happened with Holly and apologized. The only thing I didn't apologize was the lady, because I didn't actually know who she was talking about. Like I said, at that time, I had just completely forgotten about the curly hair comment. I also tell her this is not an excuse, but I just want you to know the headspace I was in. I tell her about all of the things that I was going through while I was there, that perhaps I didn't realize it, but maybe I was more absent-minded than I thought. I basically was like, I made a series of social missteps and I'm sorry. She basically messages me a few days later and says that she feels like I lied. She said when she called me, I didn't fully own up to the things that I had said about her cousin, and she was upset that I'd called Rose possessive, and she misquoted our text messages. She claimed it was Rose who said that they should pay the $20 for her instead of me. She said this all just added to everything. She couldn't trust me anymore, and she broke off the friendship. When she said that, I lashed out a bit because I felt so silenced and misrepresented, and it made me feel like apologizing right away was the wrong move. And I felt really betrayed because she believed a secondhand narrative of me. And I go back and forth about this, but I kind of feel like that's what some of her friends wanted. For 2.5 months, she...
Me too. Your friends are shit. And that Maid of Honor girl, F you. F you. Put your fingers up for that Maid of Honor girl. Baby. Girl, the way God's gonna bless you, Mateo's probably gonna end up cheating on her. I'm saying what I said. I said what I said. She didn't want to be your friend for real. That was never your friend. Never. And I agree with you 100%. And don't you ever apologize. Ever do that again. Don't ever let no fucking person have power. Especially someone that's... No, don't ever do that. Don't ever. Because that's what they do. They get with friends, certain colored friends on purpose to have power. Don't you ever yell at her again. And I hope you share this video with that hoe. I hope Mateo cheats on you. I'm just saying.
Built a case about me behind my back, and I had no control over the narrative that was happening, which means I didn't even really have a chance to defend myself. A part of me felt like maybe it was purposeful. Maybe she didn't want to be friends anymore and she just needed an out. Maybe she was upset that I accused Mateo's best friend of sexual harassment. At first, I felt really numb, and then I just got really sad. The next week, I was so sad that I skipped a day of work. Some days I feel guilt. Some days I feel rage. My biggest fear has always been that everyone hates me. So everyone turning against me really took a toll on me as well. I've never been in a situation where I felt so wrong in ways that I just wasn't even aware of. It's making me doubt myself and my ability to be self-aware. I have never been so anxious in my life. Realizing and beating myself up about this constantly. Like I could have never saw this coming. Everyone around me knows that I adored Ella. I always said this, and I even said this in my speech, that I believe that she deserved everything good that life has to offer. Her and Mateo were some of mine and my fiance's best friends. And this is just not what I envisioned for our friendship. Trying to process this, practicing self-forgiveness, hold space for any pain that I caused. Remember that I tried my best and had good intentions. And remember that I wasn't perfect, and that's okay. I sent an email to her and Mateo that I somewhat regret, just expressing anger at essentially feeling stonewalled. I feel like I have so much more to say about this, but I'll do analyses in other videos.
Baby, honey, you gotta find yourself. You gotta find yourself, honey. Baby, you gotta find yourself. Or first of all, do not ever let not even your family make you feel like that. I used to be that person who cared about it. Baby, God is eliminating. God does that on purpose. Sometimes you are that person who has to be alone. Because baby, you're just that person. I am that person. I learn. I will have friends and they'll go away. I'll have certain people that go away. And I used to be like, what did I do? What did I do? Baby, nothing. Sometimes your mission in life is just to be with you and your spouse. And have friends trickle in. Don't ever doubt yourself. Baby, you're not wrong. Do not do that again. You need to find your backbone, shorty. And don't ever let no people fuck with your self-esteem. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Like, comment, and subscribe. I promise I won't run away. I got you. There's gonna be another story. I got you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.